right, detectives, grab your magnifying glasses and put on your best serious thinking face, because today we're solving crimes, dodging death, rewinding time, and going for the platinum trophy in Nobody Wants to Die, developed by the brilliant minds over at Critical Studios. Nobody Wants to Die thrusts us into a world where immortality is just a subscription away. Sort of like your Netflix account, but instead of subscribing to watch a movie, you're subscribing to get a new body. I wonder if they constantly keep rising up the prices on that. Okay, so Nobody Wants to Die has a difficulty rating of 2 out of 10. It's estimated to take 3 to 6 hours to complete, and we have 27 trophies on offering on this one. There are a number of missable trophies totaling 13, but we will be keeping track and making sure that we do not miss any of those. Unfortunately, this time there is no PSN profile guide, so we'll be following the Power Picks one instead. Anyway, guys, it is time to begin the platinum run for this game. I hope you enjoy it. This is a bit of a Sherlock Holmes murder mystery kind of thing, so if that is your jam, sit back and enjoy and watch us earn all these lovely platinum trophies. Here we go. So the introduction to James, who's the main character in this game, is watching him do some of the most awkward flirting I've ever seen in a video game, to be honest. But this is the main character of a video game, and of course all is not as it seems as we watch him seem to have some kind of breakdown. Okay, so these little pill things that he takes,
the hardcore drugs,
they seem to kind of help with whatever weirdness is going on here. Oh, and the girl that was next to him, yeah, it turns out she ain't real either. After that little breakdown, we get a phone call from the police chief, who James asks if there's any possibility of him getting back in the saddle. The police chief informs him that his hands are tied officially, but unofficially there is a mission that James can take up and get back into solving those darn mysteries that he seems to apparently be all so good at. So we get some details from the police chief, but we do hear we're going to need a liaison officer, which James clearly isn't happy about. One may think that he likes to fuck shit up. At this point, we earn our first trophy of the game, which is all these little objects around the car. We just need to pick them up before we leave by interacting with the handle. Once we've done that, we pick up the trophy, Restless Hands. And with that awkwardness over, we learn who the liaison officer is. Her name is Sarah. And yeah, from this conversation, look, she sounds just as pleased as James did when he learned that he was going to be working with her. She seems just as pleased to be working with us. No, God! And with that awkwardness over, we finally get some details on the mission. We get this little capsule that has all the mission details inside of it. Confidential. The subject's name is Edward Green, and we're going to have to go and solve out what has happened exactly in his giant rich person's tower. We pick up another trophy here called Dark City just for finishing that mission, my favorite type. We then enter Green Tower, where clearly some major things have gone down. This looks messed up. Good thing they got Sherlock Holmes himself here to help solve it. We then learn that this thing was supposed to be an accident, in brackets. I don't know about all of you, but I'm pretty sure this is a murder. We then earn another trophy here by explaining the smell of chocolate. And yes, your ears do not deceive you. We're explaining the smell of chocolate, and we get Scent of Mystery for that.
what is that amazing smell? Chocolate.
Another trophy is earned just moments after. Here we find some documents on this table and burn them, much to Sarah's anger. Does anyone else get reminded of the movie Burn After Reading with this? Although I'm pretty sure that was a disc. Let's recap that. That we get the trophy Firestarter. A quick reload later, and this time we save the documents, keeping Sarah happy and earning another trophy called Cold Case. Okay, so time to put on our detective hat. We essentially have this tool called the Reconstructor. Essentially it allows us to rewind time and see exactly what's happened whilst trying to solve these mysteries.
It's rewind time.
Just imagine the Scooby Gang had something like this. And then we have this little X-ray magnifying glass, which is pretty cool as well. We then speak to the police chief, telling him it's a murder.
There's been a murder.
On that we are 100% sure it's a murder. He immediately tells us to stop, which is when we reveal that his name is actually in one of the files that we found here. Oh, Mr. Chief, you have so fucked up. With our impeccable mystery solving skills finished, it's time to leave the Green Tower. This earns us another trophy called Who's Afraid of Green. We then arrive in James's apartment, And is anyone else starting to think that this guy has a bit of a drinking problem? We then get another trophy here called Old Bastard for interacting with the voicemail. Another trophy can then be earned by having a conversational boxing match against our neighbor who, if they're on the other side of this wall, all I'm saying, guys, is they are clearly also naked in the shower. So part of the game is connecting all the clues that we find during being out on the crime mysteries. You do this by essentially putting what you think is linked together, and the game will tell you if it's correct or not. With that solved, we basically get told a giant ship is about to crash into our apartment blocks and to take cover. Yeah, I think it's a bit too late for that, but this does wrap up the mission and gives us the trophy Tenant. Hot-headed James then decides to head out to the airship that has just crashed into our apartment blocks, and once again, this guy is definitely an alcoholic. It actually turns out that this entire airship is actually connected to the green tower case we were on previously. Once inside, everything is a flame. We once again use our reconstructor tool.
It's rewind time.
To try and solve what has exactly been going on with this airship. We also get introduced to a new tool, which we pretty much use it to UV scan, and we can kind of like follow liquids and blood splashes and things like that. All I'm saying is you don't want to put this light in a teenager's room, right? We then actually find out that an agent was also involved in this called Nils Dean. And if you ask me, the fact that an agent was on this airship, I feel like James and Sarah are just digging themselves a bigger hole when the big fish want them gone. We also find this safe, and we need to make sure that we take this alcohol because it is going to be a trophy in the beginning of the next mission. And you know what? It's also Scotch whiskey, which who's going to say no to that? So you better yank that stuff, James, or I'll do it for you.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
We then have this weird bit where James tries to reach out to Sarah, but some stranger's voice comes through instead, like they've hacked into our little earpiece. Could this be the guy that we're looking for? The guy that's been behind everything that's been happening so far? With that mission done, we pick up the trophy, I as in Icarus. And this time, this guy's alcoholism gets us a trophy for picking up the Scotch whiskey called Old Fashioned. James and Sarah then have a bit of a long conversation while James is actually just sat. And I mean, if you look down at this part of the game, guys, it just is a sheer drop. It's like being in Coruscant in Star Wars. It's that high up, and he's just sitting on the edge, just drinking his whiskey or scotch, whatever it is. But anyway, these guys finally connect, and actually, hopefully now we'll start becoming friends.
Oh, friend!
And with that long conversation being over and hopefully them being better friends now, that brings a close to that part of the game. And it gives us another trophy called Altered States. In the next mission, grabbing one of these pamphlets gives us the trophy You've Got Mail. We then wake up in James's apartment and things do not seem to be in good shape. We seem to have another problem with our Icarite. If you ask me, our Icarite is absolutely scuffed and I would want a refund. And whenever this lady shows up, you know things just aren't going well at all because we know she is imaginary. We do earn a trophy in this segment though by picking up this little bonsai tree thing that's broken here. It gives us the trophy Ray of Light. And with James now seemingly back on the mend, we wrap up that mission and we get a trophy called In the Mouth of Madness. We then head back to Green Tower because clearly I'm not as good detective as I thought and we have clearly missed something. Whilst here we actually find a secret entrance which leads us to what seems to be a rich person's death orgy. Yes, it seems that the rich people get off by killing each other in this game. And there's actually a high government figure that's involved here. Not him. There is a female body on the floor right here. She actually is a high-ranking government official. So, ignore the booty there. Sorry, guys. I wasn't focusing on that. The stranger then interrupts us again as we're trying to solve this mystery. But he ain't going to stop me because I am Sherlock Holmes meets Inspector Gadget.
Go Gadget Chopper.
And that is invincible. We then have a conversation with a stranger who essentially tries to convince us to leave it closed so that nobody can ever find all the bodies in there. But you're not convincing me to that. So I'm closing that damn door and earning the trophy Deep Red. So it actually turns out that we've lost complete contact with Sarah, which means that James heads off to try and find her, to find out if she's safe or if she's in danger. Either way, she's not about to hide because our detective skills are getting stronger and stronger as day by day goes past. This earns us the trophy, The Last House on the Right, for finding Sarah. While searching for Sarah, we come upon this point where someone is shooting at us. We request them to put the gun down and then we start to hear the stranger's voice. We then finally find Sarah, who actually turns out is in an old person's body at the moment. She is safe and sound though, and that is the most important thing. Whilst in her hideout, we find this chicken thing by doing a couple of tasks, and we earn the trophy Chicken of Justice. We then have a conversation with Sarah, just kind of understanding things, finding out why she's in that body instead of her own body. Turns out that she's just trying to make some extra money to try and support her family.
Seriously?
We then, alongside Sarah, start trying to piece this all together bit by bit to find out who is actually behind all of this. I don't know about you, but my money is on that stranger that keeps entering our mind. Once this little segment is complete, we earn the trophy Nothing But the Truth. We then learn that James's case, the one he was taken off the force for, is actually linked to everything that is going on at this point. And James decides that he's going to have to revisit. Sarah's not happy, saying that he shouldn't be looking into his own case, but it's James, he's hot-headed, good luck. And with that, we earn another trophy called Darkness Under the Stars. We then arrive at the location of the train crash, which James was actually involved in previously. We start doing some of our normal detective stuff to try and unravel this mystery. But this time there is a twist.
It's rewind time.
We're looking into our own things that happen to us, and it doesn't quite work so well. It's why Sarah said we shouldn't have been looking into our own case, and James starts to feel unwell. He once again sees a lady in red, and like I said, whenever you see her, bad stuff is going to happen, guys. Like I said, bad stuff. James then awakens to Sarah requesting for his help. It appears someone has got her true body, and she needs us to help assist with it because it's in danger. And let's be real, she's in a very sickly body at the moment, so we don't want her to lose her true body. So James agrees to go and help her. This earns us another trophy called James's Ladder. With the news that Sarah's body is in trouble, James hurries off to try and help. The reason that her body is in trouble, guys, is because there's a riot going on, and that's exactly what just happened to that police car. It's been shot down by someone and crashed into James, who goes hurtling to the ground. We're going to be okay. Once out of the car, James proceeds on foot to try and find Sarah's body. We then have a run-in with the police chief, who, if you remember, the last conversation we had with him was telling him that we think he's involved, essentially. So, yeah, you can imagine he's not too happy with us. But luckily, luckily, there is a riot going on, and the police get scared off with lots of explosions. They're going to hit it. No, James okay. He's okay. He's always okay, you know? And we can hear Sarah's body's voice. We need to get to that body quick to stop her from being in danger. We run into this person that seems to be shooting at us, and it actually happens to be Sarah's body. We then start to hear the stranger's voice, which doesn't make any sense. What is he doing here? And maybe he is the one behind it after all. Maybe he's the one that started this riot. At this point in the game, essentially what you do is you have a conversation with the stranger whilst trying to get yourself closer and closer to the body to try and take it in safely. And finally, a culmination of all the mysteries and everything that we've been going through in this game. We have Jane Salma in Sarah's body walking towards us. And this is when we get the big revelation, the stranger voice that we've been hearing this entire time. It turns out that it has been inside of our head. We are the ones responsible for it because our Icarite is malfunctioning. We're then given the choice to let her go or to shoot her. In this option, we choose to shoot her, but we have to because we require a trophy as we watch the life fade from her eyes next to us. God, that was really dark.
It was dark times, sir.
And as we fade to black, we hear the stranger shushing and laughing. How ominous is that? And this earns us the trophy, Whatever Happened to Jane Salma. James then seems to be in what I would pretty much say is like purgatory hell, in that he can't reach his dead wife. He gets dragged away. This does give us another trophy though, called Fire Walk With Me. One of the final trophies that we get is for listening to the voicemail at the end of the game. We get a trophy called Anguish for finishing the game in the state that we did. And we get the trophy 1 missed call for listening to the voicemail. We then go through the end of the game again, but this time we choose to let Jane Salma live. And this will give us the final trophy that we require in order to finish this game and to get the platinum trophy. In this instance, however, it doesn't seem like we've ended up in purgatory. Instead, it looks like we've ended up in a very nice place on a lovely sunny beach with a pina colada. The wife's probably right there in front of us when he glances up. Look, I can even see her shadow. James is about to live and, well, I don't know if he's living. I think he might be dead, but you know what? He is going to die very happily with his wife. He takes her hand and thus ends the game. And for this, we also get our final trophy, which is called End of Deadly Dreams. And that is all that we require in order to get our Nobody Wants to Die Platinum Trophy. We've done it, everyone. Another Platinum Trophy is complete. If you have enjoyed this one, guys, make sure you go hit that like button, subscribe. If you want to help decide on what future games we're platinuming, make sure you go follow the Discord. You can find it down in the links below. Remember, we also have a Twitter and a Blue Sky account, so go follow there. You'll kind of get hints as to what games are coming up on there, because whilst you guys are voting for like the bigger games we're platinuming, in the meantime, I am doing the smaller ones, and on my Blue Sky and my Twitter, I am posting out whenever I platinum a game, so go ahead and follow that if you want to stay up to date. But guys, thanks for watching this. I hope you have enjoyed it. But most importantly, Genu says a beautiful day and bye-bye.